He is up there for favorite book boyfriends of all time.
That is the most dramatic statement ever.
Predictable is not even the right word. Anticlimactic, maybe? This book was just exceptional. Hello, hello, my fabulous book besties. I am back and we are about to start another... My dog just pushed this chair and it moved my camera. And we are about to start another reading vlog and I'm so excited because we're going to be reading some of my most anticipated new releases for 2024. Oh, the time has finally come. We have been fed with the new releases this year, like banger after banger for new release, and I just am so obsessed with it. We've had Funny Story, we've had Just for the Summer, we've had the rom-commers. July is about to be such a good new release month, and the end of June. We're actually starting with the end of June, which is the end of June right now, and I'm in the middle of a novel love story by Ashley Poston, so we're gonna start with this book and I'm going to share some of my thoughts, but I also have some upcoming new releases. I bet you can guess which ones they are if you followed me whatsoever on this channel, but I'm so freaking excited. Kickstarting though with my girl Ashley Poston. I love her writing. I still am absolutely obsessed with her writing. I'm obsessed with The 7-Year Slip. Anyone that knows me knows that book is like up there for me. I love that book. The Dead Romantics I thought was really good as well. A Novel Love Story. I'm still eating up her writing. Her writing just feels poetic. Like it's so, so beautiful. Essentially, for anyone who's not familiar with her new release, the premise of this novel is our female main character gets stuck in a small town that actually ends up being like she's stuck inside her favorite romance novel series. So basically her car breaks down and she is stuck in this small town, but she starts recognizing things from her favorite romance series, including the characters. Like she is living like she just got plopped in her favorite romance series, which like, what a dream. Like that is the reader dream. I will say, I always thought that if I could exist in one fictional universe, it would be the Addicted Callaway world. But as I'm reading this, I'm picturing me in Chestnut Springs. I'm not gonna lie. I am with the Eaton boys and all the fabulous girls, and like, I'm just in that circle. I'm in that family. So maybe that says like that's the series I would want to live in. I don't know. But I'm just like envisioning that and picturing that, and like that makes me feel all the feels. So that coupled with her phenomenal writing, I'm thoroughly enjoying this book so far. I'm just over halfway through it and I'm hoping to finish it today. I am done with work a little bit early, so I'm hoping to fly through hopefully the rest of this book. It's just kind of a nice day and I just want to read. I'm loving it. I'm not loving it as much as The 7-Year Slip, I will say that. And I'm not getting the 5-star feeling. Not to say we can't have a miraculous turnaround, but as of now, not going to be a 5-star, which is kind of a bummer. But like I said, things could change. Weirder things have happened. I just am having moments in this book where I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a lull. Like I want more romance, I think. It's a lot about these side characters and like their happy ever afters, like the people that were in the first books from her romance series, and like their love story, where I want more of a love story with our main character. And I feel like sometimes that almost takes like a backseat to the other plots that are supposed to be subplots rather than the other way around. You know what I mean? But for my book lovers, let me read you this quote. I think it's chapter 5. Yes, let me read you this. It says, sometimes a book can change your life. It's hard to explain to someone who doesn't read or who has never felt their heart bend so strongly towards a story that it might just snap in two. Some books are a comfort, some a reprieve, others a vacation, a lesson, a heartbreak. I'd met countless stories by the time I read a book that had changed my life. Oh, and then she goes on about like her favorite book. There was another part right after this. The moment was so unassuming, so normal. Sometimes that's how it happens. Sometimes your favorite book just hits you out of the blue like a bolt of lightning. Readers know that feeling when you're reading a book and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is phenomenal. This could be a favorite book. Like there's just so many bookish elements. Like I just think this plot is fabulous. What a creative idea. Every reader's dream, I feel like at one point or another, has been to live in their favorite story. To write a romance set in the setting of a favorite romance novel, absolutely brilliant. Ashley Poston does the best job with like combining romance with like a sprinkle of fantasy, like the fantastical elements of obviously being in a fictional town. She's just fabulous. She does a fabulous job and I'm enjoying this so far. Like I said, not feeling like it's 5-star feeling as of now, which I was kind of expecting this to be a 5-star, which isn't fair. I know I went in with unrealistically high expectations just because I love her so much, but I am thoroughly enjoying it. As of now, I would recommend the book, but just a little bit over halfway, so I want to keep powering through this and I'll update you then. Hello, y'all. We are back later the same day in the exact same spot right where you left me, but we finished the book. So I want to kind of give my final thoughts on A Novel Love Story, spoiler free of course, but just kind of my personal take on the book. I did end up really enjoying it, and I feel like Ashley Poston's writing is a style of writing that I will forever be underlining, annotating. Like I just love, I just can't say it enough. I love her writing style. This book in particular didn't completely wow me. I don't know. I have to be really fair. I went in with extremely high expectations because of the 7-year slip, and it wasn't like wowing to me. It was enjoyable and it was a fun read. I'm glad I read it, but it wasn't like a book that I think I will be obsessed with. I was predicting like a 4-star rating, and I'm honestly kind of torn between a 3.5 and a 4. I think probably a 4-star. I need to like sit with it. Honestly, I think my favorite part of the book was, you need to make sure you read this when you read this book, is not the acknowledgements, but the little section after. It's titled Books and Their Readers, and it's just like separate from the book, like Ashley Poston wrote it, and it's, my dog is like throwing her toy around out there. I don't know if you can hear it. And it says, it just starts with, I remember the first time I met my favorite book, and it like goes through the experience as a reader, and like just like it made me think of being a reader. I don't know. And like even like the book club discussion questions at the end were kind of fun to go through. I really liked that. I feel like her writing is just, I don't know. You know when you finish like a rom-com or a movie and you're like, oh, like that was really sweet. Like that was a nice happily ever after ending. That's always how her books kind of feel. It just felt a little bit, predictable is not even the right word. Anticlimactic, maybe? I don't know. I don't want you to think I didn't enjoy it, because I did really, really, really enjoy it. It just wasn't like a phenomenal top tier 5-star read for me, and this was a 5-star prediction for me. So I think we're in like the 3.75 to a 4-star range. I'm leaning towards 4, but I don't know. I would definitely recommend this book. 7-Year Slip still has my entire heart. I would say probably 7-Year Slip, Novel Love Story, then the Dead Romantics. I don't know, Dead Romantics and this one are kind of tied. I really like the Dead Romantics too. I think that was a good book. But this was fun. I think the idea of this book is just like perfect for us readers. Like, what reader hasn't dreamed of living in their favorite book or book series? I just think it's fun to like imagine that actually happening. It kind of like takes your brain for a little ride, and it's just a fun read. It's a really fun read. So that said, we are wrapping up A Novel Love Story. I was gonna film vlogging reading The Housemaid is Watching for this vlog, but that's my Patreon's book club book of the month pick, so I will be vlogging just for the Patreon, and I don't want to kind of like double vlog it. That kind of like defeats the whole purpose of being in the Patreon. So I think I'm going to leave The Housemaid is Watching out of this vlog, but you'll see the vlog for the book club if you're in Patreon. So I think we're gonna hold out until the next new release, which is a couple of days. So I probably won't see you for a couple of days, but I'm gonna continue reading and working away on my July TBR. I might start Binding 13. I might do Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. Don't entirely know what I'm gonna do yet, but I definitely have like a reading feeling. I need to finish The Storyteller by Jodi Picoult as well. I have so many options, but I wanted to come on while my thoughts were fresh in my brain and update you on that. I feel like I made a note in my phone about something I wanted to talk about. Did I? Oh, my favorite part of, one of my favorite parts, I shouldn't say my favorite part, of Ashley Poston's writing is that she titles her chapters. Like, I feel like chapters just don't get titled very often. Like, every single one of her chapters isn't like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It has a title, like describing it, and the titles were really cute too. Unrequited Affliction, Pineapple, Plum Luck, The Last Manuscript. Like, they're just fun titles, and I love that she does that. It's just an added element of fun that I really enjoy about her books. Okay, but I think those are my final thoughts as of now. I'm ready to get cozy and pick up a book from my July TBR over here. It's like staring at me, and it's so tempting and so beautiful. So I think I'm gonna hop into one of these, but I will update you when I decide and know what I'm reading next.
Hello, I'm back, and my dog is laying right here, and I'm scratching her tummy, and she is smiling so big. But I'm just having some floor time and reading and relaxing after my work day, and I realized I never updated you guys on the most exciting thing that has happened to me ever. That is the most dramatic statement ever. but it is one of the most exciting days of the year because today is the release day of one of my very top anticipated new releases for 2024. I woke up this morning at like 6 a.m. and I was like, one track mind, Kindle Unlimited, downloading this book, starting it right this second. I do have the physical copy ordered, but it is coming from Blackwell's in the UK and I'm in the US, so like don't ask me why I ordered from Blackwell's. It's a whole thing, but yeah. Anyways, long story short, I don't have the physical copy, but it is on Kindle Unlimited, and I only had the opportunity to read about 40 pages this morning before I had to get started for work and start doing life things. But the book is Play Along. This is book 4 in the Windy City series, and this is Isaiah and Kennedy. So Isaiah is Kai's brother from book number 3, and Kennedy we also meet in book 3. She is like the athletic trainer. I forget like her official title. But she's like works for the team. So another professional baseball romance, and this series is just everything to me. I love this series so much. The men in this series are top tier. Also, the women in this series, the female main characters, are also amazing. They are strong and powerful. I'm loving this. Her writing is so easy to read too. Liz Tomford, I need to look into like if she has any other books because I will read anything by her after reading the series. And if this is like her debut series, then that is also very impressive because they're phenomenal. They are phenomenal. But I'm only on chapter 5. I read like the prologue and then 2 at chapter 5, but I'm going to lay on the floor. I'm going to my friend's house. I recruited my dad to help put in her AC unit for her because my dad is her dad. Like, we gotta just spread the love here. But so I'm going over there shortly, but I will be reading until I have to go and then reading again tonight. So I just wanted to update you and tell you that I'm starting this book because I definitely want to vlog it, but in the excitement this morning I forgot to pick up my camera. So I'm updating now on chapter 5, page 40, and loving it so far. I just want to read all day long because I just love this series. I love, love, love this series. But that is all for now. I am going to go read, and yeah, I think I'll update you whenever I have an update for you.
Hello, my book besties. I have a very exciting update. I woke up early this morning and I like binge read the last 100-ish pages of Play Along, and oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts, but this book was just exceptional. Going into this book, I wasn't sure how to feel because like Isaiah, how he was portrayed in Caught Up, I didn't love his character. Like, he was funny and flirty, the way he was like bantering with Kennedy, but it almost felt like he was too much, like kind of the team clown, like, you know, like a class clown, but like the clown of the baseball team. But throughout this book, I feel like we learn a little bit more about why, oh, hello. I feel like we learn a little bit more about why he's like that, and it makes so much sense, and I just have the softest spot in my heart for him. And Kennedy is phenomenal. She's a strong, powerful woman, as always in the Windy City series. She's a doctor. She's fighting for what she wants. She knows what she wants. She's just like not bending to anybody. I mean, like kind of, but at the same time, no. She's both like soft and warm and compassionate while being strong and independent at the same time. I don't know how to describe it. She's just like the most beautiful, complex character, and learning about like her family and her past relationships and the way she's treated and the way that she grew up. Like, I just have so much love and so much compassion for her as a character. She feels just deeply complex and beautiful. So I really love both the main characters, honestly, and going into this, I wasn't sure what to expect because, like I said, just like the glimpses of Isaiah in book 3, I wasn't like head over heels in love with him, but I am now. He is up there for favorite book boyfriends of all time. That is a huge, huge statement, but literally favorite book boyfriends of all time. The way that he would speak about her and the way that he just like has always loved her. It's like so much that it's always been you trope, and he falls first. And yeah, this series, I put it in my Goodreads review, this series never fails to remind me why I love reading. Like, this series is the prime example of why reading is my favorite thing in the world, why I have a booktube, why I have a book talk, like why I am a reader, because of the way that these books make me feel. I get lost in them, I fall in love with them, the characters feel like family. I'm obsessed. This might sound like a weird comparison because one series is like small town cowboy and this series is like very not small town wealthy, like Chicago. Chicago professional athletes. So like polar opposites, but I'm gonna say if you like the Chestnut Springs series, I really think you might like the Windy City series. It feels very similar in the way that they are interconnected standalones, so each couple has their own book and like its own tropes and everything like that, its own storyline, but you get glimpses of the past characters and they all just feel like family. There's so much real family, like genetically family, and also so much found family in these books. I love them. Love, love, love with my entire heart. I cannot recommend this series enough. This is another 5-star read for me. Easily a 5-star read. I feel like I knew by the 50% mark that it was looking like a 5-star read. I was like, this would really have to go downhill to not be a 5-star, and it only continued to get better and better. So 5, 6, 7-star read for me. I love this book. But now we're on to the next new release and maybe the final new release of this video. Let me grab it. I am going to be starting Reckless, and I'm very excited for this. This just got delivered yesterday or the day before, and I was like jumping up and down, screaming, so excited. This is a little smaller than I was expecting. I thought the book was going to be a little bit longer, more like Powerless length, but I think it's like 300 something pages. Almost 400 pages. So super excited for this. I honestly need a little refresher on Powerless. I remember like some of the main things that happened at the end, but I don't remember everything. So I might have to go like reread the last few chapters of Powerless or find like a really good summary or something online to watch. Yeah, not entirely sure what I'm gonna do there, but I'm gonna read this after I go shop. It's Amazon Prime Day, so I'm gonna go shop for more bookish stuff and household stuff and clothes and all that fun stuff. But basically the main update of this is Play Along is absolutely fabulous. I'm waiting for my physical copy to get here from the UK. So very, very excited for that to get here, and I want to annotate it and keep it with my other beautiful Windy City series books that are on display over here. Ugh, I love it. I love this book so much. 5 stars on that one. We're jumping into Reckless, and I'll update you once I start this. Hello, hello, book besties. Welcome back. We are reading Reckless currently, and I'm not loving it. We're just gonna jump right into my thoughts. I'm not loving it as much as I thought I would, which is super disappointing to say. By no means would I say that I'm not liking the book as a whole. I just feel like I had an expectation going in after loving Powerless so much, and it's just not living up to what I was expecting. I'm a little bit bored, which like Powerless, bored is the last word I would use to describe how I felt reading Powerless. And I'm a little bit bored reading Reckless. I feel like this is a very character-driven book where like it's very much about Kai and Peyton and their interaction. We have 3 points of view. So we have Kai and Peyton like the first book, and we also have Kit, Kai's brother. So that's kind of nice because I always wanted to hear a little bit more from Kit in the first book. Like I thought he was a really great side character and I wanted him to be a little bit more centered. So I like that we have all 3 points of view, but I feel like the plot itself, where I'm at right now, is feeling a little bit slow. There's banter and there's wit and there's tension and there's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful quotes. I think that Lauren Roberts' writing is like top tier. I just am blown away when I read her writing. It is stunning. If you don't like quotes, skip ahead like 15 seconds probably. But I want to read you this. If you don't care, it's not really a spoiler. Maybe if you haven't read the first book. Either way, if you don't want to hear a quote, go ahead and skip. But if you do, keep listening. Those ocean eyes crash into mine. It's electric, this look, though not like it used to be. The invisible tether between us is now charged with our past, our present, our future, with everything we once were and everything we are now. It's a hostile sort of harmony, both of us finally fully aware of what we are to one another. Nothing. Just the shell of what was, what could have been. Then it says, I used to welcome the idea of drowning in those blue eyes of her, but now, seeing the disdain she stares me down with, I realize that drowning alone wasn't what I craved, but sinking together. What? Drowning in her eyes, sinking together. Poetic. Chills. Poetic. This writing is beautiful. These characters are still beautiful. I love them. I'm just a little bit bored. And to be totally honest, there's times where I feel myself zoning out as I'm reading because I just feel like it's not getting to the point fast enough. And then I'm like, oh shoot, I feel a little bit lost. So fully taking responsibility that I might have missed a couple of little parts in the book, but strictly because I feel like I wanted to pick up the pace a little bit. That said, Lauren Roberts, I love your writing. I'm so excited that you just announced book 3 is coming out. I think it's called Heartless? Fearless. It's Fearless. But I'm super excited for the story to continue. I think honestly I might switch to the audiobook for a little bit because like I said, I feel like I'm reading the words on the page and it's not going in my brain. So I think I might do some diamond art, which I've been loving. It's my latest hobby because I have like 37 hobbies now. But I might go do some diamond art, relax for a little bit, make myself an iced coffee, and listen to some of the audiobook, and hopefully I will like absorb more of it if I listen to it. That is all for now. I will update you when I've made progress, or maybe even when I finish the book. Don't entirely know. I'm going out of town tomorrow just for the day, so not really going to be able to read, and I need to read my book club book for the personal book club I'm in, which I'm also struggling with. Maybe I'm in a slump. Am I in a reading slump? I could be, honestly. I could be in a slump. All I want to read is like summary romances, and anytime it's not that, I'm like, I've never read the English language in my life. Like nothing is soaking in. But that is the update as of now. I'm going to go do my diamond art, listen to some of this, and I'll update you when I have an update or when I finish. Hello, book besties. We are back, and I finished Reckless, and my mind was blown with the end of this book. Like, jaw was on the floor. I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free and then do like a little chunk of spoiler discussion in case you've read this book, because we need to chat about it. But let's start with the non-spoilers. As a whole, I didn't think this book was phenomenal. And I'm being self-aware enough to know that I went in with really high expectations after reading Powerless and how much I loved Powerless. I thought this book would be top tier. Like I was expecting a 5-star read from this. And so partially my fault maybe that it fell short, but I just felt like it was a little bit boring at times. Like it felt a little bit slow, which sounds weird because like there was always some action going on. There was always something going on, but I felt like it was so focused on the characters where we needed almost a little bit more plot. And I'm a character-driven book lover. Like I love when books are character-driven, but in this one it felt like all witty tension and banter, and like the contrast with Kai and Peyton between like being enemies but flirting. Like it just felt like that was the entire book, which was enjoyable. Like it had me giggling and kicking my feet a couple of times. Like I felt giddy sometimes with their banter, but I feel like I wanted a little bit more from the story as a whole. In particular, like Kit's perspective. I wanted more from him because I feel like adding his perspective was a choice, you know, like that was a big choice from Lauren Roberts, and I was excited to have Kit's perspective because I like Kit. Like I feel like he's a complex character, a little bit misunderstood in some ways. Like I really enjoy Kit, and so I was super excited to have his perspective, but I wanted more from his perspective. So just in general, I feel like this book was good, but not phenomenal. I think I'm going to give it like a 3 or a 3.5 star rating. I really enjoyed the last like 20% of the book probably, but it was that first chunk that just felt repetitive a little bit. And like, how many times can we flirt with each other while simultaneously throwing jabs at each other? It was fun, and like Lauren Roberts does that banter, I think maybe the best of any book that I've read, but also like I needed more going on as well, you know? So that is all I really have to say for the non-spoiler portion. So jumping into the spoiler portion, I will put something on the screen if you want to jump ahead. If you haven't read this or you don't want to talk about spoilers, I will put a little timestamp on the screen. But can we talk about that ending? Peyton has to marry Kit? Like, did I read that correctly? I feel like I read and reread the ending of this book like 6 times because I was like, there is no way. There is absolutely no way that's actually what I'm reading. Pretty sure that's what I'm reading. What in the world? Like, where is Lauren Roberts going to take it from here? I feel like this book... What? Surely Kai and Peyton end up together, but like, what is the path going to be now to get there? Like, what in the world can we expect from book 3? I could not be more excited for book 3. I almost feel like this book was a setup, like a bridge between book 1 and book 3. Like, I feel like book 3 could be phenomenal because I think it's just a trilogy. I think book 3 is the last book. I'm excited for that. Also, I was really missing Adina. Like, I miss her. I feel like coming off of reading Powerful and then seeing her lack, like the presence of lack was so strong. and I missed her. Like, I loved her character and I miss her. But wow, that ending, like, I did not expect that. That really like came out of left field for me. Let me know if you predicted that, because I sure as heck did not predict that ending. I also feel like there's some other stuff that I wanted to talk about, but it's not even on the forefront of my brain because after reading that ending, that's all I can think about. So if you want to chat about this book, feel free to DM me or like join the book club and message me, or message me on Instagram. I don't really see TikTok DMs very much, but Instagram I try to check. So if you want to chat about this, my DMs are open, because what in the world? Okay, back to the non-spoiler. No more spoilers to be said here. This book was good, not phenomenal in my opinion. I think we're gonna settle at like a 3 or a 3.5 star rating, like I said. And yeah, probably a 3.5. I think I gave it 3 on Goodreads, but I feel like it's like a 3.5. That said though, that is all I have for today's video. So we read a novel love story, which I believe was a 4-star read for me, not even because of the plot, but because of Ashley Poston's writing. I honestly felt like the plot was a little bit slow and the romance was lacking, but the writing was so beautiful. So that was a 4-star read. And then we read Play Along, which is one of my favorite books of the year, probably one of my favorite romances of all time. That was amazing. Like the easiest 5-star read, 6 stars, incredible, incredible book. And then we read Reckless, which I think is like a 3.5 star read. So my least favorite of the video, which is super sad to say, but yeah, I think it was maybe my expectations. I have to be self-aware enough. I think it was my expectations. But that is where we're at. We can leave off here. Make sure you are following me on all the other things so you don't miss a bookish video, and you can join the book club if you want to on Patreon. Everything's always linked down below, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any future videos here as well. I will catch you in the next one. Bye, book besties.